guys! I'm sure a lot of you guys probably kind of guessed that Russia was going to be one of the places that was going to be on my radar sometime soon. And I have finally decided to do it. I've been thinking about doing this trip for probably well over a decade, and I've just put it off and put it off because I'll be honest and say it did seem quite intimidating. I always knew that if I was going to do this trip, I would want to do it for at least 2 to 3 months, because it really does take a long time to get through the world's largest country and see even a fraction of it. So I always felt like if I was going to do it, I wanted to do it justice and go for a longer period of time. And of course, there's then the assumption that it's going to cost a lot of money, and with Russia you do have to apply for a visa, and especially in my case, since I want to go longer for 30 days, I've decided to opt for applying for the private visa because luckily I do have family that can sponsor that for me. I do just want to make the most of this trip because it does have really deep personal meaning to me, because as you guys probably know if you've watched my videos, a lot of my heritage is from Russia. Both of my birth parents were born in Russia, and especially with my mom, her and the family really moved to a lot of different cities because my grandfather was in the army. So basically with this trip, I really do want to pay homage to my family history and go back to a lot of the cities that they spent time in. And then also I really want to go to more remote parts of Russia to really share that aspect with you guys and experience that for myself, because I think that's usually the most interesting parts of discovering a country, is going to the places that aren't as visible to the general public. And lucky for me, I do have the advantage of speaking Russian and being able to read, not very quickly, but I can read in Russian, so it makes a trip like this far easier than if somebody who didn't speak any Russian was going to attempt to go by themselves. So yes, for many reasons, I have kind of put this trip on the back burner. And funny enough, how I actually decided to go on this trip, and I just want to share this story for my own sake of memory looking back on this later, is that, as you guys know, I was planning to do Southeast Asia at the end of the year, which I still might actually do. But I get this email, and it was like really late at night too, from this YouTuber. And I'm on the fence whether to say who it is, because we might actually be collaborating and I want it to be a surprise. But anyways, I'll leave the name up for now. Anyway, I get this email from this much larger YouTuber, and they let me know like how much they like my channel, that actually some of the places that I recommended inspired them to go to those places. And then this person basically asked me if I wanted to travel with them through Russia. And at first I was like, I don't even know who you are. Like, I hadn't even heard of this person before. Once I obviously saw their page, I was like, wow, like they're super successful and have really great videos. But at the time, like, I didn't know who this person was, and here they are just saying, you want to travel Russia together? Yeah, that kind of took me off guard. And of course, my first sort of reaction was like, no, like, I'm not just gonna, you know, go to Russia with you. Second of all, I don't know how financially I could afford something like that, because they were hoping to go like within the summer or fall kind of time period. And yeah, I just didn't know how I could make something like that possible, and I had all these other things that I thought I was going to do instead this year. So I politely declined and said, you know, thank you for, you know, the support of my channel. I appreciate it, and you know, maybe in the future we could collaborate together, but right now I don't think it's really something I could do. And then, as the universe would have it, I basically couldn't get the idea out of my mind, and I kind of researched the person a little bit more and watched more of their videos and realized they're actually a really good person. I really like their content, and this would actually be a super cool collaboration to do. So I basically wrote them back and was like, I changed my mind. Are you still interested? And of course, they had actually found somebody else who they said that they were gonna do Russia with, since I had declined like 2 weeks earlier. But I had also mentioned before that I was interested in doing other countries around Russia. So they actually said, well, hey, would you maybe want to do Mongolia together? So long story short, I don't know if 100% we're going to be able to do the collaboration just with our schedules, but I'm hoping that we will, because I think this would be such a cool and fun opportunity. So either way, no matter what happens with the collaboration, I realized for myself that this was 100% the trip that I should do this year. And it was just funny how that person reaching out to me kind of made me aware of it. So I basically just decided to go for it, and I booked my tickets just a couple weeks ago because I found a really good price from Toronto to Almaty, Kazakhstan, which is a country that I have been hearing lots of good things about and thought it would be interesting to show you guys. But after that, I was also thinking of going to Mongolia, but I actually didn't know that you can't go directly from Kazakhstan to Mongolia by train. Like obviously you could fly, but it's quite expensive. So that's where I realized that not only would I have to get a private visa to Russia, because the tourist ones are only 30 days and they're only single entry. So I plan on entering Russia twice. Now, what I didn't anticipate is that applying for a private Russian visa does take quite a bit more time than a tourist one, but luckily I have decided to apply with plenty of time and should get my visa at the very latest 2 to 3 weeks before I go on my trip, so that should hopefully be fine. But it just does make so much more sense, because I really don't want to spend just 30 days and only have single entry, because it is really expensive to fly from Kazakhstan to Mongolia. I prefer to do it just by land, by train. So that means I have to go into Russia or into China to get into Mongolia, and there's no point me getting a Chinese visa as well. So I think with the private visa, it is by far my best option, where I get up to 90 days. I can apply for double entry, meaning I'll go to like Novosibirsk or something from Kazakhstan, and then I'll just go south into Mongolia. I'll do probably like 2 weeks in Mongolia. Then I'm gonna head all the way east to Vladivostok, and then from Vladivostok, then I'm going to make my journey all the way to Moscow and St. Petersburg. And since I'm already in the area, I also decided I may as well end my trip with seeing my family in Ukraine. And I say end my trip with a grain of salt, because I do have a feeling that I'll probably be extending my ticket, but just to have some kind of date that if I want to go home early, I'll only be doing about 3 months. I'll be going from July 31st to October 31st, which I know for most people is probably a very long time to travel, but for me, 3 months can go just like that. So more than likely I will be extending, but if not, I do feel like 3 months is a good amount of time to not only see Kazakhstan, but Mongolia. The bulk of the trip will be in Russia, and then probably about 2 to 3 weeks in Ukraine, because I do plan to see a couple other cities other than just Kiev on my way there. So that is my plan right now, and a part of me is so ready to go, is so excited, and then the other part is like, oh my god, what have you signed yourself up for? And it's interesting because I have been in this situation before where you just know it's the right thing to do, and you don't know exactly how you're going to do it, but you know, you just kind of have to like take those steps in the dark and the path will reveal itself to you. And I will say that the path has been revealing itself to me. I have been having so many incredible opportunities come up, you guys, like not only for how to finance this trip, but you know, people that I'm going to see when I'm there, and just video ideas that I have. Because I do want to say that, like, another big reason of why I want to do this trip, other than just kind of a nostalgic sort of trip about my heritage, is that obviously I want to share it with you guys. I really want this to be a big pillar of my channel, where I make some incredible content that will hopefully inspire other people to check out this unique side of the world and to step outside their comfort zones. There are also other factors that kind of went into making this decision, and why I think it was probably a bit tricky to make before, is that obviously I'm quitting my job again here in Toronto, like my part-time serving job. I had quit it before when I went to Tokyo, but then when I came back, my boss was like, hey, do you want to work again? And I was like, well, I kind of need money, so sure. But now I feel like I'm actually going to quit for good. Not that I, you know, hate the job so much, but I just feel like I am finally just done with serving. I'm done with doing part-time jobs that I don't want to do, and I'm betting on myself to make this happen and really make YouTube a full-time career. As a side note, I really just do want to thank a lot of you guys for not only your support of watching my videos, which really helps my channel grow, but an extra special thank you to everybody who has not only donated to my Patreon, but some of you guys have just sent me incredible gifts or support directly. So honestly, I can't thank you guys enough for giving me that kind of opportunity that financial support can bring. It is so much appreciated, and I really do want to use that money wisely to act as a launching pad for my channel. I also have a feeling that I will be taking a step away from acting. I think at this point in time, I really want to invest as much as I can into making this channel be everything it can be. And if I do come back to Toronto and feel like it's something that I want to do again, I absolutely will. But for the time being, I think I just need to sever those links as well and really give myself that fresh start. And then finally, the other reason that I really have decided to just go for this trip is because, as I've talked about on this channel before, I have been wanting to get into a long-term relationship, and having it not work out perpetually for the last year and a half is kind of a sign to me that, you know, maybe it just isn't the right time, and, you know, maybe I just haven't met that right person yet, and it's okay. I kind of feel like I was holding myself back before, where I really tried to be more stable, but deep inside my heart, I didn't feel like I was truly, you know, done with traveling, nor will I think I ever will be, and just realized that I need to just keep following my dreams, and I can't, you know, shut them down and try and force relationships to work that just aren't meant to work. I really do feel like the right person for me will have a much more flexible sort of lifestyle, who will be able to travel with me on these kinds of trips and be supportive of that. So that was kind of another light bulb moment where I realized, like, I really want to do this trip, and I really want to do it for an extensive period of time. And if somebody's not cool with that, then they're not the right person for me. I have so much more that I could probably tell you guys about this trip, and I probably will be telling you so much more about this trip, but for the time being, that is the gist. But before I sign off here, one of the main reasons why I actually wanted to make this video for you guys is to ask your opinion. I would love some suggestions of places that you guys would recommend to see in Russia, in Kazakhstan, in Mongolia, and even in Ukraine. And second of all, very important as well, I am open to the possibility of collaborating with more YouTubers in those regions. So if you guys have any recommendations for people who you think I should reach out to and maybe do a collaboration with, or just other travelers who you think might be in that area, please let me know, because I kind of don't know how to, find the people who might be a good fit for me. So I hope that maybe you guys have some recommendations. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and are as excited as I am about all the awesome content to come. And I think it will be just a really great couple of months leading up to things where I really do want to show you guys how I prep for such an extensive trip, because there is a lot that goes into it. So hopefully that will be helpful and interesting to you guys. And I just want to say a big thank you once again for all of your support. I truly do appreciate it. And until I see you guys next time, I hope you're having an amazing day. Keep being your own kind of beautiful, and I will see you soon. Bye guys.